Hey guys, it is No Sleeves 12 here with episode 8 of Short Side Wristers. On today's episode, we're going to discuss Hut loan sets, finally. We're also going to discuss the team of the week and the changes that EA has been willing to make during NHL 19. Let's jump right into it. So let's start with the big one. Out of nowhere at 5 o'clock when the new content for Wednesday dropped, we got loan sets. Finally, those 40 cards that have just been sitting in our inventory, wasting space. Finally, we can trade them in for something. So basically what happens is you can trade in any of those Milestone Legend loan cards and get various packs. Nothing crazy, a lot of customization packs, as well as some bronze and a silver pack as well. There's a long list of all of the Milestone Legends loan cards that you can trade in, basically every single one. I do need to mention there is an issue, a known issue with the 75 Mike Gardner. One of the first loan sets in this long list does require the 75 Mike Gardner. At the beginning of the game, though, there was an issue where people were getting double. They weren't getting the 75 Mike Gardner, but instead they were getting 2 of the 80 Mike Gardner. That's going to be addressed, and Shadow is actually on Reddit has stated as such. So that's going to be fixed very shortly. So just sit tight if you are one of those people that got the two level 80 or the 280 overall Mike Gardners. Also, the 89 Chris Letang, that was the team of the week card, that's going to be adjusted to the 91. So if you got the 89 in the pack today, just sit tight, don't sell it. It's going to be 91 very shortly. That's going to be updated if it hasn't already. So that being said, let's take a look at the team of the week so far for week 17. I can't believe we're already in week 17. So this week is all about the Flames. Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, and Matthew Tkachuk all received team of the week cards. So for Gaudreau, he gets a 92. He's already got endgame speed, and now his shot's getting just a little bit better. And he has BU, so his Evo does improve as well. Matthew Tkachuk, the new Evo 2 card, went from an 88 to a 90 already, so that's a pretty good improvement. Now his skating is a little bit less, it's a 93, and his shot's an 87. This is one of the 90s that I would avoid. You just, at this point, if you're investing in a 90 overall, you want to have him at least have endgame speed or shot, and he kind of has neither. He's in that purgatory. Sean Monahan, same kind of thing. Low 90s speed and mediocre average shot, and he only has the speed synergy. So I would avoid all those guys. So if you get the Monahan or the Matthew Tkachuk team of the week, they're insta sells. The Johnny Gaudreau, though, he is a fantastic winger because he does have the ability to straight line, and he has Dangler Zone and BU as his synergies. Great card. The second line was Taylor Seguin getting an 88 after getting called out by the owner of one of the owners of the team. Just absolutely blasting the NHL after that. He's got decent speed, 96 agility, 96 acceleration, 95 speed, but again, his shot's under 90. If you pack him, I would sell. Elias Lindholm, exact same thing. There's kind of a trend here. He gets an 87 overall. So many Flames, my goodness. The Sharks just can't catch them, I swear. Middle 90 speed, but low 80 shot. Definitely sell. And then Ryan Dzingel gets an 81 for the Ottawa Senators, insta sell as well, or even just put into a set. That does it for any card that you're gonna actually find any worth in. On defense, you get the 92 Brent Burns. He is one of my favorite players, obviously. Has BU as a synergy. Notice that the team of the weeks are now getting 2 synergies, which is awesome. But Brent Burns just, if you're gonna if you're gonna invest, there's so many other 92s I would go over. I would choose over him. His speed is in the low 90s. His shot is also mediocre. His wrist shot's fantastic, but in NHL 19, how many wrist shots are you taking from the point? So I would sell. Jared Spurgeon gets a team of the week, 90 or an 83 overall with above 90 speed. Might be someone if you have a free-to-play team or you've just started out. He might be someone to target. An 83 overall, someone might sell him for cheap, and he's got over 90 speed. The second line is the 85 Tyson Barrie, 94 speed, and then just a brutal shot. I've mentioned this more and more recently that I've become aware that just you know, unfortunately, if you want to have the best team in Hut, you need to start putting forwards on D. The lower overall ratings have kind of hammered defensemen more than anything because their speed may be fine, but their shot is just getting crushed. And there's no point in having someone like Tyson Barrie. Chris Letang, like I said, it was an 89 at launch, so some people did get him. He is a 91 now. Top end speed over 97. His shot, again, 81 accuracy, but 90 power on both. Still, he's a right-handed shot, so that is a little bit more rare. I might keep him, but I wouldn't blame you if you sell. And then in net, Robin Lehner again gets an 83. He is a unit, so the more and more that he gets up there to increase his stats to go along with the fact that he's gigantic, he might start becoming a popular favorite as far as, you know, the giant goaltenders. So that is the team of the week. And now, something I want to talk about, just from seeing the reactions of things like the dedicated servers, as well as the switch back to the beta tuner that's coming shortly. I don't have a for sure date on that. I would suspect Monday or maybe Friday of this week. Again, I have no idea. I'm just guessing. They said middle of January, so we're kind of creeping up on that. But something I do want to just kind of go over with you guys, because I see a lot of freaking out about these changes and whatnot. You have to understand that as a business, right, they are creating a yearly game, and I get to see, obviously, I get to see more than what you guys do, just because I see some things behind the scenes, not everything, but what they do discuss with us. Prior to this year, this game in NHL 19, there were a few NHL games in the past couple years. We've never seen the willingness to drastically change mid-game like we have for NHL 19. So what does that mean? Now, one, it might be that they're admitting their faults. The fact that we're going back to the beta tuner, not because they're just like, oh, everyone said they wanted beta, so we're just going to give it to them. We're just going to revert everything back, and that's it. That's not what they're doing, guys. They want to test what the skating is like, because, again, what's frustrating is they did not touch skating from the beta to the actual game that we have now. What they did was they adjusted the agility on L2s, and that impacted, obviously, skating as a full, but from the beta, we were using it so much that it obviously had a drastic effect on how almost everyone played. So going back to that, they want to see with certain updates and things that they can pull technology-wise to see if they can't get that into the tuner that they have now, would be what I think that they're going to do. That remains to be seen, but the willingness that they're actually going to go back to try it is fantastic to see. And the reason for it is, if they're willing to try things to change, it means that they're listening to us, and they're trying desperately to make the game the way that we want to make it, everyone as a whole. Now, also with the dedicated servers, again, a lot of people, it is impacting a lot of people negatively, especially European players, and unfortunately that is the downfall of dedicated servers. Now, wiping out IP booters entirely, as well as removing the pause glitch, is super key. But the fact that it alienates a large portion of the player base, again, because of how dedicated servers work, where you're no longer matching with that player specifically, you're matching with a server. And if you get, again, a West Coast server and you're playing against a West Coast player and you're on the East, unfortunately, you're going to feel heavy, and even if your ping doesn't reflect it in the stats, it's going to feel very, very slow, and a lot of people are having that. But again, they did that in an attempt to remove, the pause glitch that was on PS4, as well as at least try and see if that was a positive change, because again, that's what happened. Or any World of Chell mode, anything more than 3 players, I believe, is on dedicated servers and has been. So they use that, so they wanted to see if it works for Hut as well. If you're on the East Coast, or if you're in the Eastern time zone and you're near Southern Ontario or Northern New York, that kind of thing, around New Jersey, man, you are in for the greatest experience of NHL currently. It's been fantastic for me, and I hope that they can improve the server play so that a lot more players, especially in Europe, can see what the game can be when you have a dedicated server and a great connection, because it is the best gameplay of NHL that you will have. So what does this all mean? The fact that they're willing to make these changes at least shows willingness to try and improve their game more than just being stubborn and abandoning 19 in January to work on 20, because what a lot of the player base doesn't realize is that because it's a yearly game, by December most of their resources are now working on NHL 20. There's been a lot of things they've changed in 19 that they thought would improve the game, but it came with a lot of technological problems, much like, for example, sixes on PlayStation specifically. The error codes were a disaster, and that was due to basically the ins and outs of how they searched and how lobbies were created with NHL 19. Now, obviously, once it's done, you can't really just go back to the drawing board, scrap everything, and see if it works, and then try things, because they're in the middle of a cycle where they need to work on 20. So, it's just an unfortunate part, but the fact that they're willing to try all of these things is at least, it leads me to believe that they're really trying to hammer out a lot of issues in 19 and give us the best game that we've had in possibly a decade with NHL 20. I've never been more excited, and again, I see more than what you guys do, and obviously everyone thinks that Game Changers can't say anything bad about EA. It's not true. They've missed on a ton of things this year, but they've also had some great additions, and but that being said, the fact that if people that don't acknowledge that the reason they're doing these changes, whether it be late, is at least it's happening so that they can see if they can't give us the best game possible. Now, let's answer some questions in the comments section of the last podcast on YouTube, at least. From MTL Guy, All-Star Game event CS incoming. Wouldn't be surprised. I would 100% expect there to be an All-Star event. Even all Thanksgiving, all those kinds of events. All-Star one is usually something that they really produce content for from the other games, and I don't see this one being any different. I don't have any dates or anything like that, but I would expect it to be closer. I think that the next comp season that's going to come out will be for EVOs. That would be my guess, because it was held back when the EVO set was launched because of the pause glitch on PlayStation, and I don't have an update on that, but they did say on Reddit that it's before the weekend is what they're aiming for, so barring any setbacks, we're going to see it very shortly. From NB Rocket 09, great vid and thanks for the tips. Would you know if it's true every Evo will get a new synergy when upgraded? Goudreau got a new one, wondering if Evo Hall will do so if upgraded to 93. Looking forward to the new CS. The market is better, and nice of EA to constantly work to make the game better. I agree on most of those things, but as far as the EVOs go, I do believe any new EVO from the first season of EVOs, so we're talking Taylor Hall, McKinnon, all of those currently have one EVO. If my understanding, when they get the new upgrade since the launch of EVO 2, they will get a second synergy as well. I'm almost positive on that. Lastly, guys, just an esports update real quick. The Capitals' first qualifier is happening this weekend. Again, if you haven't already, go follow TDI on Twitter at TDI Hockey. He's got an amazing calendar that has all of the esports events lined up there. This weekend is all caps. It's just on the Saturday, and it is only PS4. It does start at 1, but you do have to register, so you want to click on that site there and get registered for it if you plan. I believe it starts at I believe it actually starts at 10 o'clock is when the event starts. So a little bit earlier than normal. So guys, that was episode 8. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, leave me your questions and comments in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.